So in today's driver, I'm going to take one of the modern drivers, the TaylorMade Stealth 2. I've got a 9-degree head, but we all get told, don't we, that a draw goes further than a fade. But maybe that's not true, and maybe a little tweak adjustment here could pick you up 10 to 15 yards without you changing anything at all in your golf swing. So I've got the TaylorMade Stealth 2 driver. 9-degree head, but I'm going to move the loft up 2 degrees higher, which is actually going to make the club face play 4 degrees closed, because we all know, don't we, that that draw is definitely going to hit it further than the fade. Now, it doesn't guarantee right to left shape, but this is now an 11-degree head with a closed club face. So I'm going to hit 10 shots, not going to run through, let you watch the whole ball flight on all of them, but then we're going to look at kind of club speed, ball speed, all the launch conditions about maximizing driver distance. And then we're going to move it into fade setting and show you why, just possibly, you might be costing yourself a bit of length off the tee. So definitely down behind the ball, looks like I can see lots and lots of loft, and definitely the club face looks like it's looking a bit left. So I'm going to aim just slightly right. We're not going to get too near the camera, and we're going to see how we go. So I've aimed down the right, that one not quite shaping back. I've aimed a bit straighter there, and that one just turned over a little bit. And I have to be honest, I don't love the way that looks behind the golf balls. Doesn't really fit my eye, that kind of club face looking like that. And one final one with this setting. I'll take that all day long. Little draw. Felt good strike. So, 10 shots, draw setting, 11 degrees. Let's just look at the numbers. I'm going to show strike as the average. Obviously some variables in shape, a little bit down to strike and my delivery. But let's look how the 11-degree closed club face performed for me. So we could see one turned over quite a lot. 2 or 3 just stayed kind of down that right-hand side. And the strike kind of maybe a little bit low and slightly toey as an average. But club speed of 105, ball speed at 149, smash down slightly at 1.4, hitting up just under 2 degrees, launching at 13.5, spinning at just under 4,000, which is a lot, carry at 236, and total at 249. Right then, so not massively impressive numbers, definitely too much spin, ball speed dropping off a little bit. So the idea being less loft should give you more ball speed if the strike's the same, because the ball's going to go forward more rather than launch up in the air. Should also reduce spin, but everybody says that a draw goes further than a fade, don't they? So we're now going to move this into the lower sleeve option. So take him from 9 degrees down to 7 degrees. Now, would definitely expect the potential for a different shape, but would hope, potentially, that more ball speed and lower spin would actually give me a little bit more distance. So again, we're going to go 10 shots, different setup. I'm going to try and swing as similar as I can, and let's see which of these settings gives me the optimum performance for my driver. So down behind the golf ball, I much prefer the way that looks. I know I tend to hit up a lot on the golf ball. Didn't really see that with the extra loft, and that wasn't a conscious decision, but I much prefer how that looks behind the golf ball. So again, 10 shots, let's see how this performs. Quite get that one, so that one kind of starting down the left and staying down the left. Again, love that. Definitely looks a little bit flatter trajectory wise. Again, definitely doesn't feel like it wants to turn over with this setting for the driver. Oh, that one maybe just drifting a little bit more than I would have liked to have seen. Now that one's an interesting one. So that's very toey. So even though that's set up for the fade, we're seeing that one kind of turn over from right to left. That felt absolutely ripped. Again, just holding its line. We're going to one final one, 7 degree, playing 4 degrees open. Definitely left the club face a little bit open on that one. I can see that one sliding a little bit more out to the right. Right, so for me, the accuracy thing, I think, is always more down to me than how that's set up. If I get the club face open, it's going to cut. If I shut it, it's going to go left. But let's look at the numbers. Certainly ball flight wise, I preferred how that looked. But let's see what feedback TrackMan gives us. And let's see, does a draw actually go further than the fade? So I would say shape-wise, obviously still had 2, 3 missing over onto the right-hand side, 1 very right to left shape. Strike very similar, maybe still a little low on the face. Clubhead speed just under 108, ball speed 154, smash at 143. Still hitting up under 2 degrees, spin at 3.3, and carry 246 and total 264. So when we compare the numbers, we see I actually swung it slightly quicker with the less loft. And I do see that for whatever reason you put less loft. Normally it's because I hit up more, but we see both of those 1.8 degrees up. Actual more ball speed, but because of more club head speed. Launched at 11 degrees over 13.5 degrees. Spun at 3.3, which was still high, but much lower than the 3.8. Carry went up from 236 to 246 and total from 249 to 264. Right, so even though the extra ball speed predominantly came because I swung a bit quicker, which there was no reason, I was fully warmed up, but I did say when I was looking at the numbers, I tend when there's less loft to swing a bit faster. It's not a conscious decision, I normally just use the ground a bit better, makes me hit up more. Now, I didn't see that in the numbers, but what we did see from less loft was a lower launch and lower spin, which gave me a more improved distance. Accuracy thing is always down to me. But like I said at the start, sometimes, ideally you've been for a fitting, so it should be set perfectly for you. But if you do change your swing on purpose, there's that ability for the driver to grow with you. But if you have just bought off the shelf and you think by adding loft and setting it to draw, you're gonna hit it further, that might not be the case, and it actually could be costing you distance. So it might be worth having a play with that, or take your new driver along to somewhere that can give you some feedback on TrackMan or one of the other launch monitors and get that set to optimize your distance. And for me, definitely less loft and a little bit open picks up some good yardage from the tee.